Hello there everyone and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Our Minmus probe died in a valiant attempt to send us all the seismic data for Minmus back. It was a close one. It was over 80% of the way there. But oh, that's the Munar one. The Minmus seismic scan. We got 80% of the data. We are missing about 30 science. But you know what? We have 427 science, which is enough for us to purchase advanced exploration, which will give us the Mark II 1-2 command pod. Hold a maximum of 3 crew members. We're only going to put, I'm not sure if it requires, one minimum crew, 1 to operate, 1. Which means we're only going to send 1 Kerbin, 2 Kerbins. We'll send 2, and hopefully the life support. Actually, I could stretch the life support quite far if I only send 1 Kerbal. This is going to be a Munar return mission. So all we're going to do is we're going to get a ship into orbit and swing it around the moon and bring it back. It says here in fine print, Munar return. Munar Slingshot. That's a good name. Mark 1. And let's hope we don't leave too many people in. So there it is. Now does it have a heat shield? I have no idea if this thing has a heat shield. Which tells me I should probably plan as if it didn't. I just don't know for sure, so I'd rather not take the risk. So we're going to slap one of these on the bottom. It kind of looks like it doesn't it? Yeah, it kind of that kind of looks like it belongs there. We're going to put a Clampotron docking port on top of it on the offhanded chance that we need to bring it back. Oh wait, but hold on. Because we need to bring this double-sized. They're functionally identical. It occurs to me that I actually need to bring these poor buggers back to the ground, so that is probably the better choice for the top of the ship. And then a stack decoupler with a RCS node on it, which will allow us to do our final maneuvers. A battery unit right there to help with that step. Electric charge will be off by default on that. It's 1300 life support. I have no idea how much time that is good for. And then our second decoupler. That'll allow us to get rid of that stage. And then we need a second RCS fuel tank. This will be deactivated. Actually, we shouldn't need too much RCS for this. It says here in fine print. We'll throw in the inline stabilizer right there. And then the transorbital engine unit. This will be the uppermost stage. We're going to put on 4 battery packs. So I mean 3 is enough. 5 was enough to get us to Minmus and back. So those 3 should be enough to manage the moon and back for 4 Kerbins. Alright, angle snap. We're going to throw antennas on this stage here because we're going to need that stage for our return. Loop. So this is our lift portion. This is our payload, shall we say. Okay, we need communicatrons because we're only going to need to communicate with these guys while we're returning. We'll put 3 of those on. So that'll allow us to transmit data from our Munar observations as we swing around it. Hopefully we'll be low enough to pick up a couple of biome observations. But that's all we should need for that part. Now for the decoupler. Decoupler on that. And now for the lift stage, the secondary lift stage. Hopefully that's enough fuel. Okay. So we're going to need 4 of those for our standard lifting stage, our orbital burn stage, shall we say. We shall say. We shall say, we shall we say, very often apparently today. Now we need some obvious struts from here to there. That'll keep that stable. Need some struts from here to here to help keep that stable. And now for our booster, our heavy lifting stage. One of those, one inline reaction wheel because it seems to help. And then a batch of these. 4 of them to be precise. I think 4 will be enough. I think I used 6 on the lifting stage for my last attempt at. See, LVT, no, we need the Rockomax keel hulls. There, and come on. Come on. Really? What the heck? That was weird. There's that. And there's, come on. There we are. Interesting. The game's very funny about that sometimes. And then we need structural integrity connections to here. Structural integrity connections from here to here, from here to here, and across, and across. Aerodynamics, some nice big wings on the sides for a low elevation. These things, the magical things that I think make this thing fly better. The supports for on the ground. Oh, how about a little mirroring of that part, eh? That was weird. Okay, oh, and structural integrity for this stage here, and here, and there. Okay, I think, well, for a Mark 1, that's going to do. Let's action group. We need to add a power control action group for this. Toggle electricity. And we need to toggle electricity on that battery as well. We need action group 2 for our antennas. Action group 3 to obtain a crew report. Now then, action group, do we need any other action groups? I don't think we do. No, we'll activate that one by hand. Did I keep a second? I did not. I hope only one monopropellant tank's going to be enough. Well, I guess we'll find out. Crew. We want only one crew member. We're sending Bill, and Bill alone will bravely go and orbit the moon. We're going to leave 2 empty seats because that'll give us lots and lots of life support to play with. And we'll see what happens. Let's go back to the Space Center and fix my action groups because that's something I have forgotten. Oh, I didn't hit the button. Good. Because that is all kinds of incorrectness going on there. These go together in the same stage. These go together in the same stage. These go together in the same stage. And those 3 stay in separate stages. Alright, here we go. To the moon. To the moon. With a crew. And an ugly looking spaceship. whose structural integrity is in doubt. Heavily in doubt. Okay. All power to the engines. Launching in 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. Here we go. The important thing we need to watch is this number right here and see how long it lasts. Because it says, in theory, this should be more than enough to get a single Kerbal to the moon. Oops. That was a little too far down in the gas tank. Okay. We'll add a 45-degree tilt to our... No, sorry, not 45-degree. 5-degree tilt to our ship to begin its orbital assistance here. A little less gas as we continue to come out of the lower atmosphere. Stable. It's nice and stable, which is good. The hard part is whether or not this is going to be too much hardware. Come on, ship. Good stuff. We've conserved quite a bit of gas in the lower atmosphere, like usual. Good care and attention. I'll focus on getting this thing into orbit, and then we'll worry about the moon after that. Okay, a little bit more angle to our orbital burn here. We're just about to cross the transitional threshold to the upper atmosphere, which means that the gas will start doing more bang for our buck from the fuel tanks. Hopefully we can use them up before we need to switch to... Whoa, come on. No. No, hold it. It's trying to go somewhere. I can't tell where yet, though. But I think we're going to need RCS soon. If we don't already. RCS, just give it a little more control. Of course, I did put RCS on the lowest part of the stage, so hopefully this thing will stay nice and stable. Looking good. Whoa, arrest that rotation. So far, so good. Let's see, our periapsis is still on the planet, but that's okay. Our apoapsis is coming up on 100. We don't need 100,000 for the moon. That's a min-miss burn I'm doing. So I've got enough apoapsis, which means we can burn this thing, rotate it to a orbital burn, and when we hit 45 seconds to apoapsis, we'll start doing our orbital maneuver here. I think this is a little lighter than my min-miss ship, actually, because I don't have all the instrumentation on it and stuff. And so all we want to do is if we do our calculations right, there's a slingshot orbit you can do around the moon that should allow us to get some observational data from our Kerbal here and transmit it back to Kerbin in case. Oh, here we go. Whoa, keep her steady. Do not want to be lifting that apoapsis any more than necessary. We are. All of our fuel going into raising that periapsis out of the planet. Come on. Bring it up. Faster, faster, faster. We're just about to pass our apoapsis, which means we need to tilt it up a little. Alright, we've just passed the apoapsis, which means all we've got now is getting our periapsis out of the planet and hoping for the best. And this is not looking good because this thing is out of gas and I'm still not in orbit. Alright, well, Poodle, don't fail me now, but this is not looking good for our attempt at the moon here. I may have grossly underestimated the mass. I've used precisely 1 unit of life support so far, though, which is good news. I don't have a lot of time left to get this periapsis up, and I'm using a lot of gas to do it, which is really not good. Oh well, sometimes botched attempts at orbit are botched attempts at orbit. But here comes the periapsis. Here it comes. We're raising the apoapsis a lot more than I'd like right now. Actually, we need to pull it up to raise the periapsis, don't we? Here it comes. Out of the planet, you. Come on. There it comes. Not quite in orbit yet, and we are wasting a lot of fuel on that damn apoapsis. Come on. Shoot, this is a crap run at orbit. I've really screwed this up big time. I've used half my fuel just getting... Alright, abort the mission. This thing should be able to get him to the ground no problem, so we're going to revert flight. What the hell did I do wrong? I think there's not enough gas. Revert flight to vehicle assembly. We're gonna do this again. So I think we're gonna do 2 things differently. We're gonna put a little bit more gas in that stage, hopefully, because that was just not good. That was a pain in the butt for what we got out of it. That's the big tanks. Those are the little tanks. That's the medium-sized little tank. So we need to put you... Whoa. That is not going to help. Okay, we'll do that. 4 of you. And then 4 of you attached like so. And then we'll attach these to here. I suppose the other option would be to do 6 of them. Get rid of those. Attachment up there. And then to make up for that, we'll redo that stage. It won't be silly. We're going to put 6 of them on here. There we are. 6. And we're going to attach them there. And we're going to attach them like so. And like so. And like so. Duplicate that. Put 6 of them on here. So, rotating. I discovered that by accident. Rotating an object will sometimes deal with the issue of it not attaching properly. And an amazing dragticle. I mean, the hard part is, here we are putting more mass on the thing for the lifting process, and yet it may not still be too much mass to get into orbit. Technically, this is the Mark II now. Oh, and let's hope that we left the... 1, the action groups, and 2, let's hope we left the single Kerbal. No, we did not. Whoa. Revert to vehicle assembly. That's a lot more unstable now, isn't it? Did I lose any connections? No, I didn't. All right, crew. Bill, it's you. It's all on you, man. If you can't do it, it'll be very unfortunate, and I'll send somebody else. But we're trying. All right. Launching in 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Let's hope that didn't do too much damage to the ship. Because that was really stupid of me. Looks like they actually took the hit okay. I've got 5, 6, 7 engines firing, no problem. There we are. Hold her steady. Hopefully this time I can not screw up some of the early staging process. I probably need to start my orbital burn just a little sooner. This is heavier than I had anticipated or planned for. Yeah, it's interesting. Because of the way we're angled now, we're actually bringing the periapsis up a little, which has got its points. Rocketry is a funny thing. The quirks to it are fascinating. Alright, careful about your acceleration. We don't want to go across this transition and burn up. That would be funny and unfortunate. Okay. Looking good. We are getting a lot more speed this time. Alright, time to maneuver us. We're coming into not quite an orbital apoapsis, but we're getting close. Okay. Radar doesn't work anymore, which is fine. Keep our turn going. Because we really need to start bringing that apoapsis up, periapsis up. We are in an orbital apoapsis now. Let's burn it down. RCS is on. Fine-tuned maneuvers are on. And we aren't going to wait this time. We're just going to start burning. Not full power, but if we burn, I mean, we're only a minute from the apoapsis, so, and we're still raising our apoapsis, which is not good. We need to make that a little more neutral. There we are. Full throttle to the engines, right there. We need to get over the hump on the periapsis before we get too high here. So okay that our apoapsis is still going up a bit. It's just not going up super, super fast. What's important is that we're getting a lot of energy into our periapsis. Bit of a roll going on here. Hopefully that's not the end of the world. Still got 30 seconds till our apoapsis, which means we're getting good, efficient use of our engines. I think that's coming up a lot faster now. A lot better. I'm saying a lot. Alright, and here it comes with still fuel left. So it was, I think the other ship was slightly under-designed in terms of its fuel load. Much heavier payload than I had planned on, and that's an orbit. And that's not good, because now I've got these damn oh, man. Shoot. Well, crap. Well, let's get rid of those. Let that be, and we'll figure out how to deal with it in the future. Not entirely sure how that's going to work, but add the maneuver, push ourselves out into Munar orbit, just to the moon, only to the moon. And there's supposed to be some way you can slingshot to the moon and basically come back, straight back. Leave a little sooner. A little sooner. So we want to swing around the moon. We want the moon to almost provide our return orbit if we do this right. Like so. Because our return periapsis here is going to be nice and low. Our lunar periapsis is way too high for anything useful, though, which is annoying. There's a trick to this. And I think I need to set the moon as a target to do it. I've read about this, but I'm not entirely sure how to make it happen. But that's getting really close to the one I want. Okay. Lunar periapsis is too high. So we need to bring the normal down is what we need to do. Is it the normal or the... No, that's not right. That's not right. It's the... No, not that one. Our orbit's too eccentric. It needed to be a perfect equatorial orbit to really do the job I wanted it to do. Let's see, how much lower can we bring it? 1.8. Okay, we're coming down. That's the wrong kind of orbit, though. It's getting us closer. Closer. Closer, but now we're getting into a more eccentric orbit and a lot bigger of slingshot around it. That's starting to get where we need to get to. Whoa, that's a tight moon escape. But that's not going to get us. There's definitely a trick to it. We're still coming in at too steep of an angle. That's the problem. Oh, hold on. What was that? I wish I knew which way. I'm having trouble with which bloody angle to adjust to bring it down. Alright, that's taking it too far. Too much eccentricity. Alright, go away. Go away. You're not helping. I mean, maybe we just burn at the moon and see what happens. So, further out periapsis. Oh, maybe we can adjust our orbit to get closer to the moon as we approach it a little closer. 700,000, because we're going to need to be below a threshold to actually get any useful data from the moon. No. Well, let's... I believe I have enough fuel for this, so let's do the burn that gets us at 900,000. And let's hope that's enough to do the job. Unset target, quick save. Okay. Preparing for our translunar burn. I'm gonna have to read up some more. I know there's a maneuver that you can do, which basically slingshots you around the moon and almost brings you right back to Kerbal if you do it right. Obviously, I'm not equipped to do that, which is too bad. Okay, so it's a 1 minute and 32 second burn, which means I need to start the burn 45 seconds before the mark to meet with our standard operating procedure. So 1 minute, T minus 48 for 7, 46, 45, here we go. Here we go. Bill, you're going to the moon. Well, you're going to go look at the moon. We're just looking, just having a peek, maybe picking up a bit of data. I don't know if I'm going to try and do an orbital burn or not on the moon, but we'll see. I'm nervous. I'd rather bring him back alive. You know, that whole part about, you know, sending them to the moon without bringing them back, worrying about bringing them back. Well, I'm wanting to bring them back. That's kind of a minor goal, don't you know? I read somewhere that you burn towards the moon during moonrise for the best effect. I should try that someday, see how that works. Just point the ship at the moon and hope for the best. It's an interesting thought that might be the way to do it. And it might be more effective than this fly by the seat of your pants technique that I use. Or the questionable orbital burns. Here we go. Contact in. Okay, that's our first maneuver done. The question now is, interesting. What do I do to adjust the height of that periapsis on the moon? What way do I need to go to get closer to the moon when we get to the moon? We're going to come swinging around it at fairly high eccentricity. I don't really want to orbit it, so I need to figure out how to bring us a little closer. Accelerating isn't going to help. What we really need to do is adjust this value. Is that bringing it down at all? No, it's not. It's bringing it up. There's the point where we need to adjust it. It's right there. That's made it bigger. 400,000, 200,000, but that gets me a much bigger swing around Kerbin, which is unfortunate. Actually, the closer I get to the moon, the more likely it is I'm just going to get an escape vector from Kerbin. But that's probably the orbit I need, and then here I need to add a fresh burn as we come out of the moon to retrograde us back down into Kerbin orbit. No, not Munar orbit, Kerbin orbit. But where? When do I need to do that orbit? Now we probably need to kill that. Alright, well, we'll see what happens. Bob may wind up lost in space, but 5 hours to the moon, I'm not sure that was my most optimal. Or 6 hours. Well, I'm going to be reducing that. I wonder if I could get a better effect if I did it sooner. Can I do it for less gas? I need to Prograde burn. What the heck happened there? Yeah, if I do it at the wrong time, I just wind up with a complete miss, don't I? Let's see, the proximity I need to the moon to get any useful data out of the moon is... Let's see if I adjust the eccentricity anywhere. Oops, that's not helping. There we are, that's the one I need. It's closer than I need. And that's going to slingshot us way out there, which is very not good. So, let me try this. Retro it down just a little bit more. What are we orbiting? Kerbal in a bad way. You know, it might almost just be safer just to orbit the moon and bring him back through a transmunar burn. I brought goo back from Munar orbit, but I've never brought a Munar lander back, which is something I need to look for in the future. The sooner I do it, the closer I'll get to the moon. But the closer I get to the moon, the uglier my return orbit's going to be to establish. A lot more fuel it's going to cost. Considering I only have a half tank of gas left, maybe I just need to settle for what I've got and try my best to bring him back alive with one little report about the moon rather than nothing at all. I don't know. It feels like I'm missing out if I do that. Because that'll put us in a Munar orbit, but it's a very wide Munar orbit. Man, I can't decide. Because I'm risking the life of a Kerbal. Granted, he's a mortal Kerbal, but, you know, he's one of those guys who seems to come back no matter what you do to him. But if I establish this orbit, whoa. No, okay, never mind. That's not nearly as useful as I thought it was going to be. That'll have us overshoot quite badly. We don't want to put that much gas into it. 200,000. 296. 324, so it's going to get higher that way. It's as much about when you burn as where you